solo, but it's never solo because no one ever leaves me by myself here. You can't. But I'm not gonna be alone because I'm about to talk to a great up and coming R&B singer by the name of SHEENA. SHEENA, she's coming out of Memphis, Tennessee, with a great sound that's all her own. We're gonna talk to her about her project called That Energy Part One, get into the creative process and what motivates her to do what she's doing. So let's not waste any time. Let's bring SHEENA in and let's have that conversation.
You are now listening to the radio show ATL.
Drake has ghostwriters. Like, that's really hard to defend. And he openly admit, yeah, I have ghostwriters, something like that. So, what are they doing right now? Are they having an Avengers level type meeting? Thinking about how to get back at Kendrick?
You're listening to the radio show ATL on YouTube and all other podcast providers.
All right, we got the radio show ATL, The Aftermath. We are back on the air. We got another great interview. And to do a great interview, you need a great guest. So we have R&B singer and songwriter straight out of Memphis. We got SHEENA hanging out with us. SHEENA, what's up?
Hey, hello. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you. We're going to, take a moment to get to know about your musical journey, your influences, just kind of get into everything that's making you as an artist do what you do. So the album that you have here, so the title is called That Energy Part One. But if that title, it feels like a statement. So can you explain what is that energy to you and why was it so important to call this project that?
Well, first of all, I believe that everything is energy. And so when I really started getting deep into my spiritual journey, I started embracing all of my feelings and everything that came up. So whether it was love based, whether it was just self confidence, me needing to really hone in on who I am and who I'm becoming or who I've become. It just made sense to title the album that because it has so many vibes, like so many energies. Like you got music you can turn up to, you got music you can be sad in your feelings to, you got, again, self-confidence music. So it's just like all of that into one. It's just energy, right? It's everything, it's who we are. So I just thought it was the perfect, simple but perfect title to name my debut project.
Okay, it
And
sounds
energy
good.
is everything. Yeah.
Well, see, it could be both ways, but see, the thing is that you're bringing across, even now, just in this conversation that we're just getting started, is you're trying to breed positivity. I know life isn't always positive, but you can tell that you people something that they can feel good about, and also feel other things too, but mostly good energy is what we're looking for.
Right. Yeah. And that's the that's the thing because when I started my spiritual journey, I was all loving light, loving light. But it's like, wait a minute, girl, like life be life. And
Yeah.
so I mean I have like two songs on there that talks about, being in your feelings, emotionally unavailable. So I try to delve into that. I don't try to just be like one-sided or just kind of deaf or blind to the realness of life. So you're right. Like life is not all peaches and cream. Like we go
It's not.
through all types of emotions, all types of energy. So I try to display that on my album for sure.
Yes, and with
Yeah.
that, so in doing and putting together the project, did you feel any pressure to sound like somebody else, like possibly some of your musical influences, or did you make that clear from the start that you're gonna be the first you? How did that work for you?
No, I didn't want to be like nobody. Like I feel like that's my superpower, me being Sheena, because in my opinion, as an artist, it's all about like putting you into your artistry. Like that's what makes it different. That's what makes it interesting. So I wrote all my songs and it came from the dome. So I didn't try to mimic anybody like, oh, what is this artist doing? Like I feel like my sound is a little different. I mean, it's R&B, but I don't know nobody that sound like me. So I feel like I did really good with it. I didn't want it to sound like anybody else. Like I wanted it to be tailored to Sheena. So yeah.
No, it's a good answer. And with music, and you could probably speak to this as well, coming from an artist standpoint, that a lot of it is not that you didn't have influences from other people that you've heard or seen, but it's taking small things from
Hmm.
them, borrowing a little bit, and then making it yours, that type thing.
Yeah,
And
for
you
sure.
know, yeah, you did a good job of, like you said, being authentic and being different.
Thank
Fine with
you.
that. Yeah, it
Thank
definitely
you.
was there.
Yeah, like I mean, I have influences. I love SZA, I love Beyonce, of course, like their artistry, because they're different, like in their own right, in my opinion. So I have, Whitney Houston was a big staple for me when I first started even wanting to sing. Like I remember seeing her in The Preacher's Wife, and I was a little girl, and I was like, I want to do that. It wasn't even just her singing; it was her acting, just how she approached, like just seeing her in all her glory. So I feel like more so than anything, what I take from other artists is like what's different about them. And it helps me delve into more so what's different about me. And I'm like, yeah, that's my magic. Like that's what I need to work with. That's what's gonna get them.
No, it's a great way of looking at it, and it's also a
Hmm.
great way to make yourself stand out in a business where that's part of it. Because you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have that thing that makes you
Yeah.
stand out, you don't want to get lost. So
Hmm.
I can appreciate you taking the time to, figure out what you wanted to do with that and go ahead and execute it. So you got that wisdom, of where you want to go with that. Um,
For
so
sure. For
all right.
sure.
So just to reiterate, so we're talking to R&B singer and songwriter Sheena. All right. So her project, That Energy Part One, that's available on Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify, wherever you get your music. And follow her on Instagram at hi_Sheena. So that includes her link tree that'll get you to her YouTube and also Amazon as well, because she also has books as well. So make sure and check that out as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
So Sheena, I did have a question about in this age of streaming era about social media. Do you ever feel like, I guess, I don't know if I want to use the word pressure again, but do you ever feel like you have to constantly create for like an algorithm rather than just the art? Like, how do you balance out that that part of it?
Let me tell you, 16, um, social media is probably the toughest part of this whole thing for me, because prior to me even putting out my project, I'm not really a social media person. In the world, in the age of social media, like I'm really not. Like I don't like people in my business. I don't put all my business out there. So I don't like have a lot of followers, and I'm just not on there in other people's business and stuff like that. So that's probably the hardest part of it for me. But in doing this, as I have learned, throughout this journey thus far, is nothing beats an effort but a try. So I am trying to be more diligent and consistent on social media and more engaging with my friends and new people who come across me as well. But it's not my favorite thing. But I understand that it's a part of it, because we live in a digital world, and social media is a huge part in getting your music across, getting your just you as an artist, as a person across. So yeah, it's getting better. My followers have grown, and I'm on there and I'm a little bit more comfortable, because I used to be real stiff on social media, but I'm getting a little bit more comfortable and showing more of my personality. And that's what people want to see. Like people want to see a personality. Like it's cool you got music, but are you funny? Like it's cool you got music, but are you a brick wall, or do you know what I'm saying? Like can we laugh? Like can we have a good time? Like can we kiki? So yeah, it's been a journey
Hold on a second.
coming to that point. But yeah.
I'm confused a little bit. You said you were stiff. Like we've been talking here for a few minutes now, and stiff is not the word I described. Like we sitting up here chatting like old buddies and everything, and like
Well, I'm also an actress. So I know how, like, and not saying that I'm fake, but I know how to turn it on when I need to. And I just but it's not something that, how some people just get up and be like, yeah, I'm about to get on social media and like I'm about to just do. Like
yeah.
I have to be like, okay, Sheena, we know we gotta do this today, so let's do it. Boom. Then I just do it. Does that make sense?
I get what you're saying because there's some people who just turn on live and just start riffing. It's like you got
Yeah, because I don't hate it. Like I like this is fun to me still, but it's not just like my first want. Like I'd rather just be in the studio and just sing and write, but I know what comes with it. And so I enjoy this too though, for sure. But yeah,
no, it's real
it
because
takes
you
just a
don't live in
little
that.
bit more effort.
Yeah, because you don't live in that space. You said you don't like you're living life. You don't have time to.
Hmm.
It's all a jug. It's
Because
all a
people be a little nosy too.
Yeah, you shouldn't guard that though. You shouldn't guard that part by just
Yeah,
being selective about what you put out there too. So they only
for
know what you
sure.
tell them.
For sure.
So
Mm-hmm.
that part of it. So all right. So getting back into the album as far as that energy. So if this project, let's say, were a conversation with your younger self, what do you think she would hear in it, and what would she say back to what she's gotten
Uh, she would hear confidence. She would hear um, true artistry and creativity. And I mean that as like, so, and not to toot my own horn, but I feel like when I create, it comes from a place that's like otherworldly. So it's real. Like, it's not something like, oh, music is cool. So let me try to do it. Like, no, like ever since I was a little girl, singing has just been a part of my life. Like, you can ask my parents, like, since I was a little girl, I've always sung in choirs. I've always been over um, musical productions and things of that nature. So my younger self would definitely just be thrilled because I hadn't always had the confidence and the wherewithal to really do this for myself. I've been good with like being in the background or doing it for other people or doing it with other people, but to really step out on faith and be like, girl, you about to do this yourself. Because you know, you got it. And you've been guided in so many ways to just do it because it's what you're supposed to be doing. So yeah, my younger self would be all hype about it. Like she would be very proud.
I like that answer. It's
Yeah.
being able to see your personal growth, not just as an artist, but as a person. Because you were speaking about that journey, you were saying that not just from a musical aspect, but it sounds like you as a person, like you growing into who you want to
Yeah.
be and who you want to show also as an artist too. So it means something with that. So
Yeah.
we mentioned social media and we talked about creation and things like that, but then we're also in this age where you could quickly be overstimulated, too many irons on the fire. So how do you refill your creative energy when you get drained? Like, do you turn to music? Do you listen to other people? Do you just need silence or to be away from people, or is it something else
You know what? It really just depends. Like I can get something from a little bit of everything. Like I can watch a movie and get inspired. I can be going through something in my personal life and the easiest thing for me to do is just, write. I can just be bored and go to a beat website and pull up beats and listen to like 20 beats at a time and find one that I like and like, okay, and then it just flows. So I can go for a walk and, just be thinking about it. Like when I get back home, I want to create. Sometimes it's spontaneous, sometimes it's intentional. So I really have different ways. It's really not a one trick pony type situation. I can be drinking wine and be in my feelings
Yeah.
and just get to writing. So yeah, many ways.
Okay. All right. And okay, so
Mhm.
asking about again the creative process of that energy, like when you were writing like the songs and everything, do you feel like you were releasing some things maybe you might have been holding on to? And that could be anything. It could have been good or bad, but anything that you might have been holding on to that it felt good to like get that out.
Yeah, for sure. Like, my sexual songs, songs about me being in my feelings, even just like popping my shit. Like, I'm that girl. So, yeah, I feel like I had a lot to say. And that's why it was really so easy for me to write my project. I really wrote it like each song, I probably wrote within like 30 minutes at a time. Like when I would hear the beat. A lot of songs I created the beat from scratch and just, it's so yeah.
You are now listening to the radio show ATL.
Okay, so I'm just gonna do some girl math for you. Okay, he's 70, what, 77?
72.
72.
He's 72.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's do a little girl math here. Okay, he's 72, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That means he definitely is going to eat dinner by 4 and he's definitely sleep by 7, and he's what we call a pat your knee kind of fella. He ain't asking for much. Just a little basic affection, hand holding, a little hugs, and he's probably quite busy doing his own thing. A little grumpy, likes his hobbies, just wants you around. You don't have to really perform anything. So yeah, I mean,
I don't
technically,
know, Diva. I ain't gonna lie. He getting that boom boom at night for sure.
You're listening to the radio show ATL on YouTube and all other podcast providers.
Mm-hmm.
It's always interesting to me to find out because music is like a release. It's therapy. It's like you're venting. It could be a friend to you. So it's good to hear about like okay, because that leads me into something else. So it's pretty much everything that's on there all autobiographical, or is it some things that you've seen but haven't yet experienced, but you wanted to talk about it, or is everything coming from a space of holding that personal?
Let me think. Um, no, everything is true. Like everything is either something that I experienced, um, thought about, um, overcame, you know, just really this entire album was just me thinking about myself and the certain relationships that I had been in, um, certain like darker times in my life, like the song, my last song, number 13, for me. I was in a place at one time where I was like, okay, what is life is just real, mundane for me. I knew and I felt that there could be more, but it just wasn't. I wasn't happy, and so pulling myself out of that with creativity was just like getting to know myself, sitting with myself, meditating, praying, and all of the things. Um, so yeah, songs like that, just that's how those songs came alive. So everything is something that I either experienced or just felt within
Okay.
the entire project from start to finish, literally.
All right. So this
Yeah,
project is 100% Sheena putting
it's
herself out there.
100% Sheena.
That,
Mhm.
that's admirable, that you're saying, listen, I'm taking this part of me and I'm putting it out in a public forum for people to, take a listen to and, you know, decide, how they want to feel about what I'm putting out there, but I'm giving 100% of myself. So
For
that's admirable.
sure, for sure. Now in the future, I would appreciate, having people to collaborate with as far as writing. Um, I mean, I don't mind writing myself, but I do feel that I could have a bigger reach if I have, writers and people to like help collaborate on songs because I mean, I think I'm a good writer, but if just imagine if someone else or other people came in and helped me write and helped me come up with ideas, like I think that'd be even better. And it doesn't mean that it isn't true to me because I can still relate to it, but there's so much more to say. I'm sure. So yeah.
Yeah. And, the elaboration of the answers, being able to fully verbalize what you were feeling with that, because sometimes, in artistry, it's okay. You can, talk about it only so much. It's like you can't fully express what you were trying to do. Like you could write about it and make it, but like asking to explain it, some people
Yeah.
can't. So it's good that you can explain your headspace with that.
Mhm. It took time. I had to believe that I could do it first. And once I knew I could do it, then I just ran with it. And I was like, I'm about to put this out.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
again, just to reiterate, that lovely face that you're looking at right there, that is R&B singer and songwriter Sheena. All right, the album is out now on all the streaming platforms. That Energy Part One. So that's Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, Deezer, wherever you get your music, you can find her there. And then make sure and follow her on Instagram, where she says she was stiff, but I have seen none of that on there. She said she was not a fan.
I'm doing better.
Follow her on Instagram at high_Sheena. So Sheena, I got a couple of more questions here for you, and then I have
Okay.
this question game that we do with our guests here to kind of mess with you a little bit. And so far, you put out the project, and anytime you're out there in a public forum, you open yourself up to, as we talked about, is people, so they're gonna have opinions on everything. But we want to focus on the positive here. What is the best compliment that you've gotten on your music so far?
Oh my goodness, I've got so many beautiful compliments. You know what's crazy? And I'm sure I don't know, maybe they're negative things. I haven't heard anything negative at all. Like it's all been positive from people I know, people I don't know, people that I used to know, um yeah, but just like possibly my voice. Like people like I love your voice, I love your tone. Ooh, I love that song. Ooh, that's my song. Ooh, yeah, stuff like that. Like just a mixture of all of that. So I've heard some really, really positive things, which makes me happy and it gives you a little, confidence booster to keep going. So I'm really grateful for that.
Well, that's good that you're hearing good things about that. Now, is there anything that you heard from somebody where they're giving you a compliment where it's like, dang, I wasn't expecting that. That was really good to hear. Like, is there something out there that stands out in particular where it was like somebody was like, well, they like this song in particular or your tone and voice?
Mm, well, my cousin told me like one of my songs made her cry, and she's not a crier.
Oh,
So,
making you
to
feel.
know that I'm making people feel some stuff,
Yeah.
that they usually wouldn't even be comfortable expressing that they're feeling it. One of my good friends, she had been going through things in a relationship, and she was like, she played my song every day, all day, like, because it really just, she can resonate with it really well. So I'm glad that I'm able to touch people in a real way. Because a lot of songs we listen to, and it's just like, oh yeah, this is a bop. We finna just
Yeah.
bop. But then when you have a song where it's just like, oh no, that song speaks to me because that song is in my head. Like, are you in my head? Like,
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that it's relatable.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And also, like, people's attention
Hmm.
spans nowadays, especially when we talked about social media and things like that, you got to be able to catch people real quick. And I was gonna say, for me personally,
Hmm.
hearing it and knowing that you were somebody that we needed to talk to was that first, 30 seconds is key. And when it's like, okay, I think we got something here. Let's keep listening and see what we got going on. And then when it starts to match, it's like, yeah, we got something here. So it definitely is very
Yay!
important. Yeah, because we
Thank
come across a
you.
lot of music, and it's like some of it's like, ooh, I don't know about that. But
Now
yeah,
I do remember it was a producer that inboxed me and he was like, usually people inbox like, oh, I love your music, I want to work with you. But he let me know, like, no, I listened to the song because he was like, when you said that line and I'm ready to levitate and how you went up like that, it was just, I was like, oh, so you really listen to it. Like, you ain't just talking, trying to get business. Like, you really mess with the song. Like, I love that. So yeah, I appreciate those moments because it's like, okay, yeah, you really vibing with
yeah,
me.
absolutely.
Hmm.
And then, like I said, being able to see your energy and how happy that it makes, because you can see the smile on your face. Like you can't even when you even talk about it, you can see how that good that makes you feel. You can't even hide it.
Yeah.
It's right there. So you had mentioned something about collaborations and things of that nature.
Hmm.
Do you have anything in the pipeline, like artists or producers that you are excited to work with in your circle, outside your circle? Maybe you've been considering.
Well, I do have a remix for Your Mind with this guy named Michael. I hadn't put it out yet. I would love to collaborate with people. I just hadn't really gotten to that space yet. Um, but yeah, I'm definitely open to collaborate. It just has to be the right collaboration. It has to make sense.
Okay, and that's fair enough. You can't just be out here partnering up with everybody. It has to be right, and I'm sure when the time comes, you're gonna make the right decision on where you need to go with. And one
Hmm.
last one here for you, Sheena. And like I said, we're getting your question game here. So we covered a lot of information in a condensed period of time, but a lot of information. Was there anything like you have upcoming that I know you just mentioned you have a remix that's coming out, but are there any other projects or anything that we didn't spend a lot of time on that you want to give voice to? Maybe you're working on another genre, just anything that you want to talk about that we didn't spend a lot of time on that you want to mention. I want to go ahead and give you the floor on that.
Well, no, right now I'm just really pushing this particular project. Like that energy part one, it's a part one, it's got to be a part two
Part
now.
two. Yep.
So that's coming, eventually. But I really want to like love on this project. You know, do like music videos. Like I have to really, I want to give it some time. I don't want to just like, oh, I'm on to the next thing, which is cool to work on, multiple things. Like I do have my journals out there that I'm proud of, and, you know, collaborating with friends friends. Like my friends are really into like streaming now, so we're on Twitch and all of that. But yeah, that energy part one is my baby, so that's what I'm focused on. So really, just pushing out content for that is my focus right now.
Okay, sounds good. So focusing in on what's
Hmm.
out right now, and then where that leads you at that point in time. I guess you're gonna cross that bridge when you get there.
Exactly.
Sounds good.
Hmm. Absolutely.
You are now listening to The Radio Show.
Fair. I haven't listened to a single Beyonce album front to back.
There you go. And that's my point.
Make
If I
that
hear it
clear.
on the radio, I hear it on the radio. I'm not listening to Beyonce's fucking album cuts and trying to determine if that bitch is good, because it ain't.
You're listening to the radio show ATL on YouTube and all other podcast providers.
So far, Sheena, we've been having a great conversation, getting to know about you and your musical journey and how that ties into you, you know, overcoming some things to be able to push yourself out there and make this project a success. So I'm gonna consider that
Hmm.
was the easy part of the conversation. Now comes the hard questions.
Oh my goodness.
I'll hit you with now. So we got this game
Okay.
on here. It's called "Don't At Me," and basically what that is it's essentially seeing what you do as far as decision making. So here's an example I like to use. I might ask you,
Okay.
what do you prefer, Coke or Pepsi? You be like, oh, okay, I like Coke, and you say, "Don't at me." Like we on Instagram, you're like, "Hey, don't at me." This is what I'm saying. So you just give your answer and say, "Don't at me." That's it.
Okay.
All right. So, all right, so Sheena, we're gonna get into the first one here with you. All right.
Okay.
So, what do you feel is a food that's overrated?
A food that is, those Popeyes chicken sandwiches that had everybody in a chokehold. Do you remember?
I do. I stood in line for
Okay.
5 minutes trying to get one of those.
See, don't at me.
Now, I will say this, and I'm not gonna ask you because that's the game, but I'm gonna say that when they first came out, when they were making them fresh, when you ordered them, they were real good. But see, now they already pre-made. When you order them, they've been sitting under the blanket.
Yeah, see.
It's not as good now, but no, I understand exactly on that one. And I wouldn't dare ask you because you are right. All right, so let's see. What's a food that I feel like is overrated? All right, so I don't want people to take this the wrong way because it is good, but it's been oversaturated, and that's oxtails. They're good, but not only are they more expensive now because of everything that's going on as far as tariffs and stuff like that, but everybody's making stuff with them now. So it might be a little bit overrated, a little bit.
You know what's crazy? I don't even know if I should say this. I've never had oxtails.
Oh, no, there's nothing wrong with saying that you haven't had them before.
I've never had it, but I want to because like the Jamaican plates that I be seeing, like it looks so good. So I would love to try it, but it just has to be made right.
Yeah.
But I can believe you because like I be seeing like the mukbangs with people, tearing it up. My cousin, like she loves it. So okay. I can be with you on that one.
All right. So we here with it. All right. So Sheena, we're gonna get to the next for you. All right. So what is a movie that you watched it and liked it the first time, and then you went back and saw it again and you realized it really wasn't that good?
Oh my goodness. I ain't gonna hold you. If I like something the first time, it's good because I'm a movie critic. Like, but I don't know. That's a tough one. I would really have to think. A movie.
I told you these were the hard questions. The other stuff about the career stuff,
And there's so many movies. Like, how can I answer that question? Nothing really comes to mind. Like, let me see. That I was like, that was not good. Maybe the Rugrats movie.
Okay. So you watched
I mean, I remember watching it as a kid, yeah, but I was like, I really ain't got to see this again, like,
No, okay, I got you. I wasn't expecting that, so that's funny. All right, I won't ask you on that one. All right, what is it I watched? And I liked it the first time I saw it, and then I watched it and it wasn't good. I could go a lot of places with this because that happens to me a lot. I do remember a long time ago that you remember that movie G.I. Joe that came out?
I don't think I watched it.
You it's good you didn't, because the first time I saw it, it was in the theater and it was loud and it was stuff blowing up. I'm like, yo, this movie is good. And then probably about 5 or 6 months later, it came on like cable, like Stars or something. I'm like, oh, I'm watching it
Yeah.
again. It was so bad. It was so bad. It was like,
Oh,
man, I guess I needed popcorn and being in the theater to make it good, because it wasn't good.
probably so. And sometimes it just be the hype of it all, you know?
And that's what it was. I was hyped up to be there. Like I said, it was loud. Stuff was blowing up. And I was like, okay, we're not going to do that one again. And I don't think I've watched it since then, but don't act. All right. So we're going to go with the next one. Sheena is music related. If you could bring back, if you could bring back one deceased artist for a final album, who would it be and why?
Whitney Houston.
That's a no-brainer for you, right?
That's a no-brainer. That was the easiest one. Yes. Nippy. Okay.
All right. For now, it's the easiest one. Okay, I won't ask you on that one because I know it's one of your favorites. All right. If we could bring back one deceased artist for a final album, who would it be and why? Well, this is, even though we have much love for R&B singers like you, in essence, this is a hip-hop show, so we focus a lot on hip-hop music. It's Tupac.
Okay.
He's the greatest rapper of all time, and to have him back just one more time, to have his creative input and put out something he would have done would be amazing. I probably would never stop listening to it. It'd be on repeat over and over again. So I say Tupac for that.
I rock with that one.
For sure. Don't ask. All right, so we got two more here for you. So this one is also movie related, and it fits because you said you're a movie critic, so you're a movie head. Would you rather be the hero in an action movie or the villain in a psychological thriller?
Probably the hero in an action movie, because I'm always rooting for the hero.
Okay. So you never have.
Let me guess. You the villain.
Okay.
But no, a lot of times villains have like things that happened in the past. Is okay, like when we really get to their story and you understand why, and then they really don't really be the villain. They just be getting their lick back a lot of times. So
they go about it the wrong way. So I'm gonna say this. If you were to talk to my co-host, they would say, "Oh yeah, definitely the villain all the time." But that's not really me, or is it? I don't know. But in this case, I would say the hero in an action movie, even though sometimes I feel like the heroes don't have as much fun as the villains because they got to stay on the straight path. They don't usually have the
You're right.
Like the villain. In this aspect, because if I say I'm the villain, I'll be proving my co-host correct, and I'm not doing that. So, the hero in the action movie, don't add me, but they might have something to say about that. All right. So, we got the last one here for you. All right. So this one is concerning, like, I guess your preference when it comes to vacation. So when you're going on vacation, do you prefer to drive to the destination, so having a road trip, or just catch a plane so you can get there? What do you say?
Let me just catch a plane so I can get there. Well, it depends. Like if it's 3 hours or less, we can drive. I'm not driving, but I'll ride. But if it's more than 3 hours, let's just fly and get there. Yeah. Okay. Right. Don't at me. I ain't been saying don't at me. My bad.
That's okay. You got this. All right. Yeah, I can see that. My limit is different than yours, Sheena. I could do anything 5 or less. I'm okay with a drive. So anything over that 5 hours, you probably got problems with me on that one. But let's see. Going on vacation, do you prefer to drive or fly? So again, it just depends. Because sometimes, like Atlanta, the airport here is outrageous. But for people who are not from here, it might drive them crazy. For us, people who are natives here, going to the airport, you know what you're dealing with. It's kind of like you're used to it, the craziness of it. So that doesn't bother too much. But for some people, it can, Hartsfield, Jackson can be overwhelming to some people. You may have heard stories.
Yeah, I have.
So you get stories about, not into that.
Yep.
But the question, drive or fly? I don't know. I'm gonna have to catch that plane.
Listen.
Yeah, you're going to Miami or something like that, and it's that's an 8-hour drive from Atlanta, but you can get on a plane and be there in an hour and some change.
And then you gotta deal with gas, traffic, like, I mean, things happen on planes, especially nowadays. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
You're
Hmm.
caught up more in this nonsense traffic than you will worrying about crashing the airplane. So give me the plane, use some
Okay.
headphones. I could go to sleep for a little while, and then boom, you at where you're going to. So that works
Yeah,
to get to the
exactly.
destination. But I will say
Hmm.
this: out of all this that we had going on, I'll tell you one thing that we did. We had fun playing "Don't At Me" with Sheena on the aftermath. She did a great job with answering these questions.
Thank you.
You are now listening to The Radio Show.
I'm gonna go on a limb here and say I don't hate the remake of Karate Kid. It's not that bad.
It's not that good either.
You're listening to the radio show ATL on YouTube and all other podcast providers.
So, Sheena, this has been a great conversation. Like I said, getting to know you, feeling, you talk about that energy, feeling your energy. You could feel that coming through there. It's just positive. People, how they say, well, this person has it, or they have, it's something about you that it just resonates with people. It's just you, and it comes across in your music, and it's coming across, like I said, in this conversation. And as you continue to do more things, people are going to see that, and they're going to gravitate towards what you got going on. So for the people that are
Thank
going to
you.
be watching on Instagram, the information for Sheena is going to be right there on the screen here. So again, the album, That Energy Part 1. So that's available on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Deezer, wherever you get your music. Make sure and stream that. All right. Follow her on Instagram at @high_Sheena. In the bio, she's got her link tree that's going to get you to her YouTube, where there's visuals. Everything that you need to know about this emerging artist is there for you. Like I said, she deserves some time of your day to check out that album. Is doing well, and we can make it do even better by showing her some love. So, Sheena, again, it's a great conversation. We'd love to continue to speak with you as you go through this journey, make you a friend of the show and
For
everything.
sure.
We appreciate the time.
Yes, this is not our last. This is not our last powwow.
Absolutely. It better not be, because you're
Mhm.
going places, and we want to see that journey as it continues to go. So, again, that's Sheena, a great, singer and songwriter from Memphis. She is here to give you that energy,
Yeah.
and give her that energy and go stream it right now. All right. So, thank you again. We
Thank
appreciate it.
y'all.
You are now listening to The Radio Show.
I don't have road rage. I just don't like when people get in the left lane and do the speed limit. Nigga, if you gonna get in this lane, you gotta accept the risk that you could potentially get a ticket. That's what this lane is for.
You're listening to the radio show ATL on YouTube and all other podcast providers.
All right, we're back here on the Aftermath. We just got done talking to great R&B singer and songwriter Sheena about her project called That Energy Part 1. She was a great interview, just full of energy, just in the way that she was wording her answers and being able to paint that picture and let you know where she's coming from while she's creating her magic when it comes to her music. So definitely somebody you should be checking for. And speaking of checking for, if you take a look at the screen you're watching on Instagram or Facebook, you take a look at the screen there, the information for Sheena is on the screen. All right. So the album, That Energy Part 1, that's available on Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify. Wherever you get your music, you can find it there. So make sure and check that out. Follow her on Instagram at @high_Sheena. On her Instagram page, she got her link tree that'll get you to her YouTube and to Amazon, because she's also a published author as well. So make sure and show her some love on that as well. All right. Now, as far as the radio show ATL goes, if you want to be a guest on the radio show ATL, just send us an email to radioshowinbox@gmail.com. Or you can send us a text, 678-800-1677. We look forward to hearing from you. So again, much love and thank you to Sheena for being an absolutely great guest. She is a great up-and-coming singer. Well, she's not gonna be up and coming soon. She's gonna be blowing up here real soon, especially with all the love and support that she's getting. That we hope also the listeners and the watchers of the radio show ATL do as well. The same listeners and watchers that keep us as a top 200 podcast in the music commentary category on Apple. So we definitely appreciate y'all for that. So again, thanks to Sheena, thanks to the listeners and watchers, and we will catch y'all next time.